What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm speaking to one of our clients, Kat Thorne. Kat joined the Content to Clients program a few months ago now and has seen massive success. Multiple 5-figure months, and her offer is really dialed in, and she's working with her ideal clients, flying out in some cases to meet them and present to their teams. She's got a really interesting story because she quit her job as a high-profile CEO at a big organization to focus on her dream, but didn't quite know how to get there. She tried a few coaches, tried a few different mentors, and they worked in some degree, but not financially, and she didn't really have a plan mapped out. And we're going to break down that journey in this video too. The thing I love most about working with Kat is her dedication and her willingness to trust herself, even when there are uncertainties ahead. She's comfortable becoming uncomfortable. So she really leans in. And if you want to do the same and grow your business, it's something I think you've got to get used to, is this feeling of being uncomfortable and becoming comfortable with it, as I say. Kat's got a really interesting story, which we're going to break down. And I'm not afraid to say the first time round, we got her offer wrong. You know, we had to pivot. We positioned something where she was selling to individuals and it didn't work. It didn't land well with Kat, and we didn't think it landed well with the market. So we readjusted, we pivoted, and now she helps these other organizations with their employee well-being, as I say. So if you want to do the same, if you want to build and sell a 4 or 5-figure service online, organically with content, then click the link beneath this video and you can book a call with me or someone from the team for free, and we'll find out more about where you are now, where you want to get to, and see if we can help. But without further ado, I'd like to welcome Kat to the channel. Kat, thank you for jumping on. I am excited to chat to you. I know you've been in the program for a while now, a good few months, but before we get into anything about the program, do you want to just give us a breakdown of who you are and your business model?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. And it's good to be on with you today. So I'm Kat Thorne. I'm the founder and director of the Morning Game Changer. And what we do, we focus on teaching positive habits to employees. So we work with organizations all around the globe, and we're getting some amazing results. And a lot of that is, of course, due to the program.
I'm excited to get into that because, yeah, there was an initial bit of friction, I think, between you wanting to join or speaking to me and then wanting to join, because you've been involved in coaching or mentoring beforehand, and hadn't necessarily got the results that you wanted, right?
I think it's a journey, isn't it? I think when this is the third program I've been involved in, and I had invested 4 figures in the last 2 programs. So I felt like I'd given 9 months of my time, 2 separate coaches, and obviously thousands of pounds. And what I didn't realize is that was just preparing me for some of the foundations. And what had also happened, I think, as the business had evolved, is that some of that coaching was coaching me out of my full-time position, full-time job, and giving me that the mindset work to actually leave my job and start my own business. And obviously, when I started working with you, I had started my business at that point. But what I think happens when you start a business is you get so many thoughts, you get a lot of fears, and it's so overwhelming because you've gone from having that comfort blanket of a salary every month to, just a lot of time and no guaranteed income, and a lot of imposter syndrome, if I'm honest. So I think for me, joining your program, I hesitated because I had already invested and I felt like I should use that knowledge that I had already sort of bought and paid for. But what I hadn't gained in previous programs was what I gained in your program. And that was really to get really clear on who I was targeting, what results those people wanted and were hoping to get, and how to actually create content that then engage that audience and then convert them into clients. And then, of course, the whole process, deliver to them, get the results, share those results with other people, and continue to grow my business.
Yeah, it was interesting. And I know, well, I think we should go back actually first to you being employed and having to be coached out of that because you were in a really senior position.
Yeah. So I was a CEO at the time. I was running a Commonwealth organization. So we were focusing on ed tech for teachers in low income countries. And it was a really incredible job. And I had an amazing career prior to that within educational technology. And I was, at the top of my game. I was working in a lot of senior roles, traveling around the world. So I guess I had a real strong identity attached to my career, and I'd never really thought about running my own company. And I think that I guess for a lot of people, the pandemic gave us all some time to really reevaluate our lives. And I guess as I was sort of approaching 40 and I had, 20 years of experience working in different organizations, a lot of fast-paced roles, my own experience of, destroying my whole entire life made me realize that actually I think I had a different sort of calling in life. And that calling was to help other people create positive habits and routines and be the best version of themselves. But I think, as you know, I started off in the program in one direction, thinking that it was a good idea to target people like myself, so leaders, CEOs, people at the top of their game. But actually, I realized that my heart and what I'm really good at is working with teams of people, especially in person.
Yeah, I was about to touch on how, well, we'll get into sort of how that changed slightly, but you've been different from other clients for a number of reasons. I mean, I'm really impressed and I'm really impressed about how you just grabbed the bull by the horns and jumped in with a big level of uncertainty. Like, one, is the program going to work? But two, when you were in, is this offer going to work for this particular audience? And it didn't, for a couple of reasons. It didn't land as well as it could have done with them, but it also didn't land well with you. But I was going to say that the difference between you and some of the other clients that jumped in is you were the first person I worked with in the end who was B2B rather than just selling to individuals. You were the first person on LinkedIn because my business was built up predominantly on Instagram, and that's where we met. And also you were the first person to hit a 5-figure month off the back of it, quite early on as well.
Yeah. And I know working with, B2B organizations is not going to be for everyone in this program, but it's not really about who you work with. It's about going on that journey to figure out who are your people, and how can you help them. And I think for me, because what I focus on, the results that I help people to get is around personal responsibility, it can be quite hard for people to accept that that's something they need to work on and something they need to financially invest in as well. So I have found with the increased focus on well-being and people and investing in mental health and so on, that organizations are much more open to the programs that I deliver. And also it gives, and I've also heard employees that I work with say this in sessions, that they wouldn't normally have joined something like this. They wouldn't normally have engaged in a program like this. So I know that my model is right, but I don't think it matters too much on who you're working with. It's about having that opportunity to test what works, test what feels right for you. And that's what this program gave me the opportunity to do. So it's got a laser focus on your business actually becoming a business. And I think before, I was with the other programs I'd invested in, I was sort of playing a bit. I didn't have the full package in place. So I'd done some mindset work. I just started to post on LinkedIn, but the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle that were missing, I have found all of those in your program.
Oh, that's good to hear. Yeah, I like to think it is slightly different to other models, and I think our approach is quite different as well. But is there something that made you initially, after that initial friction, is there something that made you choose us, having not necessarily got those tangible results you did from other courses or programs?
I mean, I could see, well, of course, I was impressed by the quality of the content that I was engaging with prior to signing up to the program. And then I think when I actually spoke with you and you explained what the program entailed, I thought I could see where the gaps in my knowledge at that point were. And when you showed me the portal and I could see all of this information, then I thought, okay, I think for me, that's when it clicked. That's when I thought I need actually to go through a sort of a more of a business program, which has some mindset thrown in, because of course our thoughts are really important and how we manage them. But I think because of your background, because of you've been successful in business and with content, it just, to me, it just made sense. But of course, when you just, follow somebody on Instagram and then you have a chat with them, you still have those doubts, don't you? Like, who is this person? And what if I give him my money and then, I don't actually get any links or anything? And of course, to combat those things, you do things whilst you're on the call, which of course, then you're reassured that this isn't just, an Instagram scam, which, let's face it, there are so many now, aren't there? There are so many people going, you can make millions in, 10 days. And it's just such a farce. I think people are falling, it's hard not to fall for some of those things.
I agree. And yeah, I think the promise is that a lot of courses make are now focused on money, but you never really see any results to back it up, and they try and automate you or shift you into maybe make it a click to buy, or shift you to a sales rep who isn't connected to the person whose brand is you've got the potential interest in. And I've heard that, I've been on sales calls and had to sort of reassure people that it will be me well in the mix. So yeah, I think, and that makes it a better experience for everyone that's involved. But I wanted to ask you what your favorite element of the process has been so far, because typically, as you know, we'll work on an offer, then we'll work on marketing, which is typically your messaging and your content, then we'll look at lead gen, sales, delivery, and then scaling. What's your favorite part? I know what mine's a content. I love sales, I love content, but content is the one for me. What do you think's been the most exciting part of the process for you?
I think it's just that it's evolving. I love that. I think I can, it's really clear that you and the team are really passionate about what you do. Yes, it's your business, but what you're interested in is that we get results. And in my case, that I get results. And I think nobody, and I feel the same about my own business. I don't want to work with teams that don't get any results from the work I do. Like, there's no satisfaction in that for me, which is why I put certain things in place. And I think you do the same. And for example, all of the resources in the course, like the headlines, the hooks, the templates, you're teaching us so many different ways that we can generate leads, how to have conversations. And I think that's what I really like about it. I don't think there's one specific bit that I like over others, but one of the really strong areas of the course, I think, is building your offer, because you can be really passionate about something, like I was in the beginning, obviously morning routines and positive habits and all that. But how do I actually sell that to someone? How do I help people get results? And so, and the other thing I really like about your program is that you have got sort of these time, I guess, I don't know how to explain it. You've got points in the program where you can't access certain things until you've done this. So, it's really easy. And I've been in these programs before where a portal is opened up and each week is a call, like a Q&A, and just to sort of everyone's bumbling along. But actually in your program, you get the different one-to-ones, but you can't have them until you've done this piece of work, which means that as as your client and as somebody who's invested in this program, I've got an incentive to take those steps, which is of course beneficial for my business. And I really like the fact that it's evolving. The group itself, I must admit, when when I first got this opportunity to work with you, I'd been in a group program and a one-to-one program, and I was sure that the next program I was going to invest in would be one-to-one. And when you said to me it's group, I thought, I don't know if I really want to go into a group, to be honest. I really just want to work with someone one-to-one because they're the expert. I know what I need help with. But actually, I was wrong. The amount of value when you're in a group, the amount of experience, the amount of sharing that goes on, and you still get the opportunity to have that one-to-one support. I think it's the perfect blend.
I was exactly the same, because I started working with someone one-on-one, and ultimately I went into my next buying phase, if you will, wanting one-on-one, even though I hadn't got the results I wanted. And then I invested in, it was just group. There was no one-to-one in there. And I could immediately feel like it wasn't done as well as it should have been done, but I could feel the power of just the other questions that other people were asking, the experiences that were shared in I think it was a Facebook group at that point, the experiences that were shared there and the help you were able to get was really, really mind-blowing. And funnily enough, I thought when I was putting this offer together, I was like, people are going to be really, really resistant to the group. They are, people want everything personalized. And I don't get much resistance now about it. I don't know if it's transformed, if people value community even more than they already did. But yeah, for me, that went from almost not necessarily full belief in a group model when I put it together to it now probably being the biggest selling point of this program is the people within it.
Definitely. And I think also you forget that, or maybe you don't forget, you perhaps don't even know. I certainly didn't. Like, I'm a big people person. So going from working within an organization with, a ready-made team and all of those networks and connections that come with that to going on your own, it can feel really lonely and really isolating. And so having that group of people who are always there on Slack, who we actually meet twice a week, as well as all the other, expert sessions and things that go on, it's really, you feel like you're part of something, and you also feel like you're not the only one who's having these thoughts or having these off days, or who's made this boo-boo with a post, or who's got an angry comment, like, what should we do with it? So I think I definitely underestimated the value of that. That it's mega, and this program is worth way more than I think you would ever charge for it.
Hope so. It might be time to up the
time for price rise.
Yeah, let's go. I mean, we are very soon.
Sorry, prospects.
Sorry, guys. Booking sooner rather than later. No, I think you're right. The power of community is really, really good, and it allows you to understand when you're working in a group that other people are going through those same, because everyone has doubts, and we've started to address them at the forefront of the program, and more frequently now is like, when you're at that stage, you are probably going to be thinking or feeling this, but don't worry, it's completely natural, and here's how to combat it. So really, really sort of robust in our approach now for mindset. It's something I've been doing a lot of training on. But on the flip side, in terms of feelings as well, I know I've had a couple of messages from you where it's been like, I can't believe I've just woken up and I've had this, a 4-figure sum just paid into my bank account overnight. And I think one of it happened when you were on a beach once. So I think you sent me or sat certainly with a very nice view abroad. Talk about that. Going from being nervous to put what to you now is probably quite a small amount into a program, to receiving a similar amount when you're just having a coffee or a cocktail.
I can't even explain the feeling. It's just incredible. And I think at the beginning of this journey, I just couldn't see how this was possible. And I think you've got to just trust yourself and trust the process. And I know right in the beginning, when I was taking those steps from being employed to working for myself, and I just kept having to tell myself, what's the worst that can happen? And I think when you apply that logic to a lot of things, you realize that actually sometimes you're the blocker, sometimes you are the one that's stopping these things from happening. So what I've definitely learned throughout the program, and I've been doing more and more of, is just letting go. So I remember having a conversation with you really early on about somebody on LinkedIn who'd been really interested. And at that time, that was probably one of just a couple of possible leads I had. And that was obviously right in the beginning. And I focused so much on, oh, they haven't replied, and it's been 2 days, they still haven't replied to my message. And now I'm getting busier. Some months I'm fully booked that I can't actually take a client session and have to look at other dates for the future. And I've got clients now who I'm working with on a phase 2 of a program. I think I've grown in confidence, and obviously I've grown, increased my prices. I've extended my program. I've hired my first member of my team. So to then start getting paid, to think in the beginning that I did lots of things for free and I had a program for a completely different audience that didn't really work. I am I'm really proud of myself. And I'm also really grateful for this program and taking the risk in investing in the program, but also in myself.
It's a big thing, isn't it? But it's powerful. And, you are getting amazing results, and it's great to see, because we've got the wins channel in Slack, and you're in there weekly, just like sign a new client, just delivering this for a new client, just flying internationally as well, which we should probably talk about a little bit. Where have you flown and with some of your recent clients? Because this is something that no one else in the program's done, in terms of, because most of it's just done over Zoom, face-to-face over Zoom. Yours is face-to-face in a different country a lot of the time now.
Yes, yeah. So I've actually priced my services so the same for face-to-face as online, because I love delivering in person, and I also think the energy and the value is completely different. And I think it's good because organizations now are starting to get more and more comfortable with being back in person, and it's a bit more special to do in-person events. So I sort of strategically price it like that. So recently we started working with an amazing Scandinavian tech company, and they wanted us to deliver it in person. So we flew to Norway. Off the back of that, we now have two more clients from Scandinavia that we're working with. And we are talking to an organization at the moment in the Netherlands, and that would also be all in person. And I have also been to Paris. It's also obviously amazing. Sorry, it's just cut off my headphones.
I've got you in the other mic. It's all good.
Sorry. So Paris, we've also been delivering in-person work in Paris, and we've been to all around the UK as well. I've been as far north as Yorkshire to do an in-person. That's in Portsmouth in the south. It's a good old trek.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing, and it's sort of that ripple effect. We've also got clients in the US and other countries, but at the moment I think, especially in the beginning when they're so far, it's good to be able to do those remotely. We still get really good engagement working remotely. We also work with some government agencies as well. But like I said, I'm really encouraging people to do more in person, and a lot of, as organizations are trying to get people back into a sort of hybrid or adapt to a hybrid working pattern, there are sort of connect day type initiatives where we're starting to participate in those as well, which is all very exciting. But international work is definitely on the cards. I want to do more and more overseas.
Let's go. Yeah, so exciting. I got goosebumps when I saw you just been booked to go here. I think it was Norway, the first place you went, right? Yeah. And then your Instagram stories showing us all around the hotel and things like that, and the size of the audiences too that you're speaking to in person. And it's all just a question of investing in yourself at every stage. And I don't mean financially. I mean in your own gut and in your own feeling and in your own ability, and gambling against yourself is what I said to someone on a sales call recently. I said, look, you're not actually paying me this money. Yes, I'm going to receive it when you join, but you're almost betting yourself, because this works. I can show you results of 5, 10, 15 people who've come through it and have made their money back, tenfold in some cases. So it's not a question of whether you can afford it. It's can you afford not to do it and gamble against yourself. Don't worry about trusting me, worry about trusting you, and if you can be consistent enough to do it, because it is a war of one, isn't it? You're battling against the person in the mirror.
Yeah, totally. And I think
I don't know where I'd be now without the program, because what the program gave me was two things. It gave me all the tools. So, you know, everything from spreadsheets to, you know, map out your daily engagement to stay consistent, all of the templates, all of the content creation tools that you need. But then on the other side, it's also given me this community of people who are like, yeah, you can do this. And when you win, you celebrate, even if it's however small it is. And you can't underestimate the power of sort of that kind of group of people that are all cheering each other on. And when, you know, when something really amazing happens, whatever it is, it's just, who do you share it with? You know, and sometimes you have, you know, partners or husband or wives who don't really get this world. And, you know, so I think it's really nice to be able to have that group of people that you can share those things with. So, you know, for me, looking back now and thinking, I was so worried about the investment. You're like, I don't know why we're so worried sometimes about putting money in something and then like, is it going to work? And actually, one of the things I learned from this program and from other things that I've done is that you are the one deciding whether it's going to work. You are giving us this incredible opportunity to be the best, grow the best business we can, be the best version of ourselves. And whether you as an individual take the time and follow the steps that make so much sense. It's not like you're asking us to do anything that doesn't make sense. It's all so logical and so well supported. But yet it's complete, your results will be completely dependent on how much you put in, how much time you invest, how many calls you go to, you know, how many things you try.
Completely agree. Yeah. You know, I love taking credit when people have a really good month or they celebrate a massive financial win, but that's just a bit of guidance on my part. It does come down to the will to succeed, because, you know, we talk about it frequently, that we've talked about it on this call now. It's like, you're going to have amazing days. You're going to have like poor days. It's, you know, peaks and troughs with everything. But those who are successful, and not just in this program, just in any walk of life, are able to have that longer term vision and go, no, I am going to trust myself. I am going to trust the process. And, you know, I just want to say, Kat, like, I'm so impressed. I love working with you, obviously. But I just, the way you've transitioned from when we first started speaking to now, it's just like things are nailed on. You know, you're building an audience on LinkedIn, you've got inbound inquiries rather than going outbound and having to prospect more at the start. And yeah, I think you're absolutely smashing it, and it's amazing to see. So leads me to my final question, I guess, which is, what does the future hold? What's the next 6-12 months look like for you? What are the plans? How are you going to get there?
So big plans. I would like to take on my team member full time, so I can really start to scale. And so that's one thing. I can see a lot more opportunities now overseas. There's definitely, a lot more opportunities I'm much bigger than just the UK market. And so I really want to explore that further and sort of see what else I can organically grow from the clients, especially in the tech space. And yeah, just expanding. I also would like to start creating content, masterclass content that is potentially a blended version. So maybe self-study. I'm not quite sure what that looks like yet. So I'm working with a few organizations to sort of test that. But one of my challenges, of course, is that I like to deliver things in person and live. So how do you scale that when they're buying you and your time? So I'm looking at ways that I can help organizations to keep increasing their well-being without needing me to be live or in person for things. And I think that's totally possible. So that's what I'm really working on, investing. And I just want to do more of working on my business than in my business. And they're really important differentiation. I've just reached the first year mark, but I feel like I'm just getting started. So I'm really excited about the future. And I remember when we were talking, when I agreed with you that I was going to go for this program, and I was sitting in my car in a car park, and I just had a really good meeting with a contact of mine who was, who kind of just, I don't know, she gave me that sort of talking to, like, you can just trust yourself, you're going to do this. And then I had that call with you, and you were like, let's do this. And that's when we did the payment and everything. And yeah, in my car of all places. And I just got really excited about it. And I think it's the things that make you a bit nervous but get you really excited. That's the things you should go for. They're the things that yeah. And I think, what in this grand scheme of things, this is a tiny drop in the ocean when it comes to finances. I know it feels like a lot in the beginning, depending on where you are at the stage of your business, but there's no doubt in my mind that you will make your money back within the first few weeks, months. That's what happened to me anyway.
Amazing. Love it. And I'm so excited to see the progression. Scalability always creeps in once you start getting a few clients, I must say. It was exactly the same for me. It's like, right, how can I duplicate myself?
Yeah.
Because it's tough. So yeah, I think, delivering those assets which are duplicatable, sell one, bill once, sell twice kind of thing. But also hiring team is amazing.
Yeah.
So excited to see the progress.
Thank you.
I know you've got a call. No, thank you. Thank you very much for jumping on. I know you've got a call in a sec. I do too. So I'm going to sign out, but I want to say thank you again for jumping on. And I'll see you soon.
Yes.
Brilliant. Thanks, Kat.
Okay. Bye.